Electric, injection, firing, gas, hanging. What do these 5 words have in common? They're all ways to die in the death penalty. There are several different reasons against the death penalty, and one of the major ones is religious views towards the death penalty. In the Catholic Church, there are about 4 main reasons why they don't like the death penalty. Consider it not a punishment for the criminals, but revenge for the victims who lost their families. They want the criminal to die because they lost their family member. It denies the power for Christ to forgive them because they will never be able to ask for that forgiveness. Even though they are a criminal, every life is valuable in God's eyes. It is God's children. And we'll never know if that person really did care. Is there a possibility for change in them? Because they, once again, never get that chance to apologize. There are also reasons why criminals do not deserve the death penalty, and also alternatives that you can say may help. One thing is, death is the easy way out. When this criminal dies, they don't have to care, they do not have to apologize because they're gone. It doesn't matter to them anymore. And this will never truly heal the victims. They still lost their loved one. They still lost their family member. And the criminal doesn't really care. They did that. They stole that life. They don't care what happens to them afterwards. Best alternatives are life in prison without parole, no chance of coming out. And that way, the criminal will have to sit there. They will have to stay there. And whether they care or not, they will have to live with the guilt until they die. There's also a lot of economic disadvantages to the death penalty. According to government estimations, a trial that is seeking the death penalty ranges from $1 to $3 million on that one person alone when you calculate from the point of arrest to the execution. Life imprisonment, on the other hand, only costs about $500,000, and that includes incarcerating the person for their life without parole. An interesting fact is, in 82% of cases where the prosecution is going for the death penalty, normally, by the end of the case, this is overturned to just life in prison without parole. So, between all the trials and aiming to execute this person, the government might have wasted $1 million on a death penalty case only to come out with life imprisonment. Death penalty can be a very scary situation, especially when, in the end, the person is innocent. This innocent person was almost put to death while the real murderer or criminal is still out there. Kirk Bloodsworth spent 8 years in a Maryland prison and 2 years on death row, only to be proven innocent by DNA in 1993. Ronaldo Cruz, he spent 10 years on Illinois' death row, once again, to be proven innocent by DNA in 1995. Robert Miller spent 9 years on Oklahoma's death row, proven innocent by DNA in 1998. It might seem wrong to convict an innocent person, but there's also the advantage of killing an innocent person. In 3 cases, people were tried and executed, and eventually there was evidence that this was an innocent person. Carlos de Luna was convicted in 1983 and executed in 1989. He was charged with fatal shootings. New evidence pointed to a different man after a new witness was surfaced. Ruben Cantu was convicted in 1985 and executed in 1993, charged with murder and attempted robbery. Key witness who came forward said Cantu was not the shooter, and the only witness who did identify him said he felt pressured by the police to choose someone and was not completely certain about his choice. Larry Griffin, convicted in 1981 and executed in 1995, convicted of killing a man in a drive-by shooting. Man who was injured in the same drive-by shooting says he was not the shooter. The first officer on the scene, though, was only given his description and chose the man that seemed similar to it. In the end, the death penalty has very strong, harsh reviews by religions. It should not be the easy way out for criminals. They should have to live with what they've done. It's economically irresponsible to waste millions of dollars on the death of one person. You're risking innocent lives who could be killed or who were killed because of the death penalty. And in the end, death penalty is truly unnecessary form of punishment.